I was sitting on the curb outside the Moore mansion, suitcase next to me, rain dripping down my neck, when Gwen slammed the front door so hard the windows shook.
"Don't even think about coming back," she yelled, leaning over the porch railing like I was a stray dog peeing on her roses. "You're 25, Lila. A lazy, broke artist who can't hold a job. I'm doing you a favor. Go find some dumpster to sleep in."
Yeah, it was my 25th birthday. She'd remembered long enough to throw me out. I walked 3 blocks to the subway, sat on a bench, and pulled out my phone. There was an email from Ethan Cole, Dad's old lawyer, with the subject line, "It's time. Meet me at the Peninsula tomorrow at 10 a.m. I stared at it for 5 minutes. Dad had always said Ethan was the only guy in the city who doesn't lie for money. I didn't know what he meant until that second. Then I unzipped my suitcase and pulled out the art print, my first sale as Verve. It was a watercolor of a bird with broken wings, signed in gold ink. I'd sold it for $10,000 last year. Never told anyone, not even Mila. Dad was the only one who knew about Verve. He found my laptop open one night, scrolling my portfolio, and smiled. "Your art's worth more than any check," he'd said. "Don't let anyone make you forget that." I ran my finger over the signature and whispered, "I miss you, Dad." That night, I crashed on Mila's couch. She made me boxed mac and cheese. Extra cheese. She said, "Gwen posted your empty bedroom on Instagram. Caption, finally free of dead weight." She showed me the screen. Gwen's profile pic was a selfie with Dad's Rolex on her wrist. The comments were all her elite friends. Good riddance. She was never family. You deserve better. I took a bite of mac and cheese and said, "She thinks I'm worthless. Wait till she finds out." Mila raised an eyebrow. "Finds out what?" I held up Ethan's email. "I think Dad left me something big." The next morning, I showed up at the Peninsula in my only nice jeans and Dad's sweater. Ethan was waiting at a table by the window, wearing a suit like he'd close $1 million deal. He slid an envelope across the table, thick, with a More Tech wax seal. "Your dad made me promise to wait until after the funeral. He didn't want Gwen to hurt you before it was safe."
I opened it. Inside was the will. I read it aloud, voice shaking. "I leave 100% of More Tech, my $50 million art collection, all real estate to my daughter, Lila Moore. My wife, Gwen Hart, receives $0. She married me for money, not love, and I won't reward that."
I looked up at Ethan. He knew she was using him. Ethan nodded. He caught her talking to a divorce lawyer 6 months ago, wanted half his company. He changed the will that week, told me, "Lila's the only one who deserves this. She's got heart. Gwen's just hollow." I felt tears run down my cheeks, but they weren't sad. They were angry, relieved, free. Ethan handed me another envelope, keys to the Grand Ballroom, Dad's historic NYC venue. "Gwen's renting it for her charity gala next week. She thinks she's dealing with a third party. No idea you own it." I laughed, a real laugh. First one in months. She thinks she's smart. Wait till she finds out.
We launched the Verve Blitz the next day, reels of me painting at Mila's kitchen table, behind the scenes of Broken Wings. A teaser for my first in-person art show. It went viral in 24 hours, 500K views. Comments like "Verve is a genius," and "Who is this girl?" Gwen saw it, commented on Mila's Instagram. "That's Lila. She couldn't paint a wall without making a mess." Mila showed me the message. "She's lying. I saw her Google Verve net worth this morning." 2 days later, Gwen had a meltdown at a coffee shop. I heard about it from Mila's cousin who worked there. Gwen was in line for a latte, wearing Dad's Rolex, when 2 girls talked about Verve. One said, "I heard she's Jack Moore's daughter. His will leaked. She got everything." Gwen spun around. "That's a lie. Lila's nothing but a..." The girl cut her off. "Oh, you're Gwen Hart, the stepmom who threw her out. Yikes. That's gonna look bad when Verve reveals herself." Gwen's latte spilled on her white dress. She yelled, "This is my family, my money," and stormed out. Mila sent me the video. Her cousin filmed it and said, "Her face? Priceless." I watched it 3 times. The gala was on Saturday night. I wore a sleek black silk dress from The Inheritance, heels that made me feel 6 feet tall. Mila did my hair, high ponytail, messy in the right way, and said, "You look like a queen about to take her throne."
We showed up at the grand ballroom at 7 p.m. The place was packed with Gwen's elite friends, paparazzi, B-list celebrities. Gwen was at the bar, holding a champagne flute. When she saw me, her smile dropped.
Lila? What are you doing here? She said.
I walked over. Ethan behind me. I own this place, remember? Dad left me everything.
Gwen's eyes widened. That's impossible. He would've. He hated you, I said. He wrote it in his will, you get $0. Zip, nada. She laughed, high-pitched and nervous. You're lying, I'm his wife. I get half.
Ethan held up the will. Read it, page 3, line 7. Gwen Hart receives $0.
Gwen grabbed the paper, scanned it, and paled. No, this can't be.
Then the DJ announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest of honor." I walked to the stage, took the microphone, and looked out at the crowd. Gwen stared like I'd grown a second head.
Hi, I'm Lila Moore. And I'm Verve. The crowd gasped, some pulled out phones, recognizing the name. I'm also the sole heir to Jack Moore's empire. Gwen gets nothing. She threw me out on my birthday, thought I was worthless, sold my art supplies, called my work garbage, spent Dad's money like it was hers. But guess what? Everything she wanted? It's mine.
This venue? Mine. More tech? Mine. The art collection she planned to sell? Mine.
I pointed at Gwen. And you? A gold digger who got played. You spent all your savings on this gala, renting the venue, hiring caterers, buying that fake charity sign? Too bad, the venue's mine. The party's over. Gwen pushed through the crowd, hair a mess, lipstick smudged, and grabbed my arm. You can't do this. I'm your stepmom. I yanked my arm away. No, you're the woman who made me feel like I didn't belong. You thought money made you better than me, but you're wrong. Money doesn't make you worth anything. My art, my friends, Dad's love, that's what's worth something. And you? You have none of it. You're a joke.
The crowd went silent, then Mila clapped, loud. Soon, everyone was clapping. Gwen looked around, her friends stared, paparazzi took photos, caterers packed champagne. She opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. She turned and ran, dress trailing. Mila sent me the video, her cousin filmed it, and said, her face? Priceless. I watched it 3 times. The next month was a blur. I sorted through Dad's things, found his old sketchbook with drawings of me as a kid, and cried. I donated 10% of Mortec's profits to art education, Dad's favorite charity, and opened a Brooklyn studio for young artists. I turned down the Moore mansion, too big, too many memories, and moved into a loft with Mila and her cat, Mr. Whiskers. Gwen's gala disaster made the tabloids. Headline, Gold Digger Stepmom throws out heir, gets nothing. She lost all her friends, no one wants to be with a broke social climber, sold Dad's Rolex for rent, works at a department store. I saw her once at a grocery store, in the cereal aisle, holding generic Cheerios. She looked up, saw me, and froze. I smiled. Not mean, just free. She turned and left. Last week, I had my first in-person art show. It was packed with Verve fans, studio kids, Ethan, Mila. I was talking to a teen who bought my print when Ethan walked over with a champagne glass. Ethan followed my gaze. You okay? I took a sip of champagne. Yeah, I'm more than okay. I'm glad she threw me out. It made me realize I'm stronger than she ever was, stronger than I thought. He smiled. Your dad would be proud. My phone dings. It's Mila. Check the viral reel. Gwen's gala face is everywhere. Priceless. I laughed and opened the app. There's Gwen, mouth open, eyes wide, like she couldn't believe it. The caption, Karma's a bitch. And her name is Lila. I looked up at the crowd, studio kids, Mila taking photos, Ethan smiling, and felt that warmth, that peace. Dad was right. My art's worth more than money, my life more than Gwen's lies. I took another sip of champagne and thought, this is what winning feels like. And for the first time in years, I didn't just feel happy, I felt free.